stuff with the rate cuts and then future money printing, that's going to help us bleed into next year.
Would you advise someone, like that we had that hater call on last time? Would you advise someone to buy Bitcoin at this point, or is it like, come on, at this point, bro, it might not be worth it? You might want to go into a...
Everything has a use case, right? So it depends on who you are. Like, why is Michael Saylor going so hard in Bitcoin? Because he's already rich. He's already got tons of money.
Gotcha.
So he just wants to maintain his value over time against the dollar, actually increase over the dollar, right? Make sure he doesn't lose his money, and then increase slowly. So he's a lot more conservative in that sense, right? But then why is Tom Lee wanting to buy 5% of all Ethereum, right? Because he knows that's the next one that's basically still cheap. Yeah. It's like you're buying $5,000 Ethereum is like you're buying maybe, $2,000 Bitcoin back in the day.
Gotcha.
They're not exactly equivalent because of supply.
Yeah.
But in terms of the opportunity,
roughly speaking, yeah. So buying Ethereum right now at, what is it, 3,000 or something like that, is the equivalent to like buying 42 is the equivalent to buying Bitcoin back when you said when it was around 1K or so.
Yeah,
like 2017ish. What was it? When was it
2017.
2017 around 1,000, 2,000.
And I would say, Solana itself, right? That's going to be a little bit of a Wall Street chain.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have a lot of tokenized assets and real world assets starting to come on there. Now that's a little bit of speculation, right? But the banks are starting to move in that direction because the Solana compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum is much more centralized. So it has a lot more aspects of what we call Web 2. Crypto is more like Web 3. So the next generation of the web. Web 2 is kind of what we're used to using now. And so they want to make it easy to use. You have Phantom Wallet. I don't know if you've ever used that for Solana, but when you use that, it's like you're using an application that you're using on your phone now. It's not like you're using a crypto application, really. Yeah. And so because of the ease of use and because Solana is sticking around, a lot of the banks are buying into that and starting to build on that. Now, we have to see one more 4 to 5 year move of Solana building there through the banks, and then if that happens, then Solana is going to basically get crystallized as like your number 3 cryptocurrency that's going to stick around long term. A lot of people in crypto probably don't like that, but it's Wall Street money.
Yeah. Have you heard of the All In podcast?
Yes.
They're attached to the.
Who owns it?
David Sachs.
Yeah. Very familiar with that podcast. They did a big episode last year when they endorsed Trump. I remember.
Right. Yeah. So all those guys on the show invest into Solana at like a penny, basically. And these guys are all attached to the Trump administration, So it's like we just following the money, and they're also some of them are ex-PayPal mafia, and then and Peter Thiel's also backing JD and backed all the candidates on the right for vice president. So we're just tracking where the money's going, right? So it's like, all right, so like this one's one of the gilded ones. So this is the stuff that we were looking at when Solana crashed to like $7, right? We told our guys let's put some money in. Like I bought a ton at $16 and stuff just because we were are they still backing it? Yes. Okay, let's go. And just to make a point, I think Ethereum is a better buy right now. Doesn't mean like if I buy Bitcoin right now and I hold it for 10 years, I'm going to make money. Tons of money, of course. Regardless. But during the short term, during the next couple of years, it's like an example. Like I was going to say this at Bitcoin Maxi guy when he called. Imagine like people always tell people to buy crypto when it's the most high, right? Yeah. So when 21, right? Let's just say he probably, like, let's just say, mom, buy Bitcoin. Cool. His mom probably would have bought it in March or April of 21 for, 64,000, 60,000. Within the next couple months, she was down the entire time. And then around November, she finally got finally, mom, I'm $9,000 in profit. And then it crashed for another year and some change too. So then the mom, and like, this is what most people do. They get rolled out and they sell it. Like the time to buy Bitcoin was in 2019 when we were buying it for $3,000. Right, 3,000 to 69. That's where the money went. When us buying $15,000 or $20,000 Bitcoin, now it's like $113,000, $115,000. Right. So Ethereum's all-time high in 21 was $4,800. Okay, we're at 4,200. Bitcoin's all-time high in 21 was 69,000. So Bitcoin's basically almost doubled its all-time high. In Ethereum's is right there below its all-time high. So if you're just looking at like a value, and we're also just like Charlie was saying here about like Tom Lee's trying to buy 6 million Ethereum, which is 5% of the supply.
Absolutely
all these companies
can't lose if you got that much.
Yeah, it's and they're gonna stake it and make a bunch of money with it and stuff like that. And Tom Lee used to be the top. He left JP Morgan in 2014, but he was basically their top guy. The top macro guy at JP Morgan in 2014. He left, made his own fund and stuff, and he's basically been one of the most, in terms of like the last decade, he's been single-handedly the most correct guy when it comes to equities. Like like everyone knows. I mean, it's like he's super famous in equities, but
if that guy's buying a bunch of Ethereum, I think we're onto something here.
That's the green flag.
Because that's what I've been buying has just been straight Ethereum. I'm slowly picking up a little Bitcoin here and there, but like it's just so high now at this point. It's like, are you going to get the same returns, right? Especially because we're spoiled, right? Like especially you guys. You guys were buying Bitcoin at fucking when it's just a couple $100.
Super
Meanwhile,
cheap.
me, I'm over here. I'm thinking like, I'm buying Bitcoin at 3,000, 6,000. This is great. Now it's 120,000. You're like, oh damn, oh no, bro.
Well, here's the other thing though. Like, where is it going? One of the things that R.I.P. John McAfee, McAfee said back in 2017, if Bitcoin hits $100,000, it's definitely going to $1 million. And that's the reason for that is basically because
good point.
If it makes 100,
thought he was crazy when he said that too. I remember when you guys did that interview.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was.
I
fun.
remember when you guys did that. When you and John did that interview years ago, everyone was like, "This guy's fucking crazy."
Yeah,
but he was right.
Yeah, he was absolutely right, and he had a controlled craziness. Like, it was funny when we did that interview. He said, "Oh, I have 30 minutes for you guys." Right? We started like 10 or 15 minutes early because he was in the room already, and then we were like, what do you call it? We did the whole interview and everything, and then at the very end, which I thought he was just going to keep going. I'm like, oh, he's giving us more than 30 minutes. We're going like 40 minutes here. And at the very end, he started talking about Kent State, all this stuff, and he started like kind of fake crying, but I thought it was true at the very beginning, right? He's like, you guys, like you kids, your protests and stuff, like you guys are kind of lost and all this stuff, and then he's like, you cried and stuff, and then he hangs up or whatever. We're like, what the hell was that? Like, it was the weirdest end to an interview ever. But then, like, I swear to God, bro, I like frantically texted his wife because she's the one that helped us set up the interview afterwards. I was like, holy shit, like, we had a really good interview. I hope he really liked it. Like, I didn't want to make him upset, but, like, I hope he's okay, right? And she was like, he's having a great day. Like,
all right.
he was just, played with us, basically. But, he's controlled chaos is what I want to say there with John McAfee. But anyways, that $100,000, once you hit that six figures, you're going to make $1 million because
Did he predict it was going to hit 100,000 back then?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. He also predicted.
Well, you've been predicting too it was going to hit 100,000.
Yeah.
I mean, Charlie, you've been telling me for years it's going to hit 100,000, and it came true.
People thought I was crazy in 2019 when I said Bitcoin is going to go towards 100,000. People thought I was crazy when central bank digital currencies are going to come out. I did a web series called Digital Currency Wars. I talked
You're vindicated, bro.
Yep. I mean, it's like all the stuff that we're talking about here. It's starting to happen, and like you said with Tom Lee buying a lot of stuff. So if you look at Pantera Capital, they were the earliest fund on DeFi.
Yep.
They bought $1 billion of Solana because they know that's where Wall Street's going.
Once the banks started buying, it was over.
Yeah.
Once they started making ETFs and they started buying, and Goldman Sachs, all these guys started getting into cryptocurrency. They did it secretly, of course.
Yeah, of course.
They didn't make it. You had to go digging in the Wall Street Journal or newspapers to find it, but they were doing it. And then we talked about Grant Cardone earlier. Grant Cardone's had crypto forever. He just didn't publicize it like that. But he's always had a bunch of Bitcoin. But obviously, since he's a real estate investor, right, and that's what he does, and his whole thing is collecting money from people to do real estate deals, it'd be counterproductive to be like, go buy Bitcoin.
Yep.
But he has. And his brother, Gary Cardone, huge into crypto.
Yes, huge. He's like the crypto guy.
He's a crypto guy. He's not a real estate. I don't know if his brother, I don't know if his brother has.
You know what's shocking though?
Real estate,
just to add to your point.
Yeah.
At the Bitcoin conference, there were so many athletes there.
Oh yeah.
And celebrities. Hold on a second here. This is a celebrity function, and they're like, you know what? How do I get into Bitcoin?
Yep.
One of them hit up Rumble CEO for a deal, but it's funny because they're all trying to get into Bitcoin one way or another.
You know why? Basically, one of the reasons why that we found, at least with sports players that we've seen, a lot of the ones that come to us initially, they're like the guys who only have a few years in the league.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
they get some money, but they're like, how do I keep this? How do I grow it? How do I not end up like Latrell Sprewell and be like, I have $100 million.
Was he broke now?
Well, he had $100 million contract when he was with the Timberwolves or something like that, and he was like, that's not enough money. I need to feed my kids. It's like, bro, like, what are you spending? But there used to be a statistic that Latrell Sprewell is hilarious, but he was very good with Kevin Garnett and Sam Cassell back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
But like, what do you call it? There's a statistic. This was before
5 years after the league, something like that, right? Athletes are broke.
Well, like not even that one, but before Steph Curry like popularized the 3-point from like way long range.
Yep.
It was a high risk play, right? And so this was maybe probably late 90s, early 2000s stat, but they found the players basically who were willing to take more 3-point shots were a lot worse off financially.
Oh shit!
Because they had too much risk on their plate, basically.
Interesting.
And so what you find with those players is, you go down the line and they basically spent all the money.
So the best shooters tend to be terrible with money.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing now, if they're like in the league just a few years, like Gronk had a story where he's like, I didn't spend any of my money that I made, I just put it in a bank account and I live frugally. Awesome, smart man, right? Now he's freaking rich or wealthy, and then all these different things. And so like they want Bitcoin and they want to get in this space because they don't want to lose their money.
Do you know who was had the curve? Everyone laughed at, said he's blowing money too fast and you won't do well. Odell Beckham. Way back in the day.
He actually took a salary in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
he was
smart.
like, pay me in Bitcoin, and he got it. He did that for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
and he actually put out a tweet when Bitcoin hit a new all-time high this cycle. He's like, haha, what are you calling me now, motherfuckers? Because everybody called him stupid when he was doing it.
I remember.
It was a smart move. There's also a lineman. There's like a lineman from the Carolina Panthers. I forgot his name, but he was doing the same thing.
Yeah, smart guy.
When do you think it's early on, but you've been pretty good with, you predicted Bitcoin would hit 100,000 back in 2019. When do you think we'll hit 1 million?
So my outlook, and we probably both have like different opinions on this,
sure.
but
and do you guys want to open up the phone lines after this prediction?
Yeah,
sure.
Let's do the chats first and then phone line because they'll be waiting for the chats.
All right, Bill, Mo, logistically, should we open it now? It's up to you. Open it up, open it up, so that way we don't get distracted with the noise and shit like that, and then we'll have them give their predictions, read chats, and then we'll open up the phone lines so you guys can have time to cycle in and shit like that. As you guys know, the rules are the same. 646-490-0394. Put the last 4 digits of your number, and you get to cut the line. Get to have a good discussion. Open Q&A, guys, on anything financial. We're going to try to focus more on cryptocurrency. We got 2 experts here for you guys. So, get your questions in. Course, we haven't even plugged it yet. It's live right now, guys, for the Crypto Mindset course for Q4. It closes on Monday, but get in while you guys can. And, they're still keeping it at the same price point, $9.97, which is fantastic. And most of the people that come in, all of our guys make money.
I'm not going to hold you, bro.
Oh, y'all make that money back.
I would have raised the price. So y'all niggas.
By inflation-wise, we probably should have. You know what I mean? But we want to make it affordable.
You guys have been literally have the same price point for like 4 years now. So
yeah, we want to make it affordable for people. But to answer your question, right, for when does Bitcoin hit $1 million? So there's a lot of different things that you can do to try to like guess exactly when it's going to happen and stuff like this. But the first thing that you need to do is we kind of explained this on the last show. One of the callers asked like, is the 4-year cycle broken? Are we going to extended cycles up? So if anybody has questions about that, go view that. But in my opinion, the 4-year cycle is still valid. It will still continue to be valid for quite a while. It's not only just because of Bitcoin's supply shock with the halving, but it's also due to basically global liquidity cycles. That's really one of the reasons that's pushing that. But so if you go by that, you got 2029 as candidates for the top of the cycle, right? 2029, 2033, 2037, 2041.
These are the candidate years of it hitting $1 million.
Exactly.
Yes. By 2029,
2033, 37, 41. 4 years apart every single one.
Gotcha. Okay.
4 years from now is 2029, right? If it hit $1 million in 2029, I would be shocked.
Yes.
It would be amazing, right?
I think we could take it though.
I'll take it all. Right?
Send it.
That'd be amazing. But I think that's pretty highly unlikely. I think we get into the multiple hundreds of thousands.
400, 600, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Very comfortably. Excuse me. Very comfortably, and that just kind of is what people get used to. And then they're like, okay, well now that it's like comfortably, let's say like $300,000 in 2030 or something. Okay, well that's only a 3x to get to $1 million. This is very possible, right? Yeah. And then when you get to 2033, that's your first realistic candidate, in my opinion. Maybe 2032, you can argue, where you could get Bitcoin hitting $1 million. 2037, I think it's probably inevitable by that point. So that's within 12 years. And if it's slower than what we expect, for some reason something happens and there's like a tripping point or something, then 2041 at absolute latest, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's pretty late in my head, though.
Yeah, it is pretty late.
Yeah, so it's possible in 29, but so it just depends. Like, so yeah, the farther we get along, right? Is the United States going to be in more debt? Is the world going to have more debt?
So within 15 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Within 15 years for sure.
Yeah,
it seems it's going to be $1 million asset. Wow.
And actually, CZ from Binance, right? He had said recently. He said if you have 0.1 Bitcoin, that will be the cost of an average house in the 2030s, basically. So what if
10% of a Bitcoin?
10% of a Bitcoin. So if you think your average house is like $500,000, that's $5 million Bitcoin.
So that's $13,000 right now.
Wow.
If you buy $13,000 of Bitcoin in 10, 15 years, you could probably buy a house at the end of the 2030s. That's how much it goes. Because once it goes exponential, once the governments are actually like printing money to buy Bitcoin, the numbers are going to start going crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting because like, if you got like a whole Bitcoin right now, it's like,
chilling.
dude, hold on to that thing forever, as much as you can.
Absolutely.
And if you hold it long enough, you can literally, but depending on when you bought in, you could take a part of it, buy a house cash, live in it, and then boom, like a majority of your spending, because most people spend most of their money on housing and then a car, right? If I'm not mistaken, the two biggest things. you can get one thing taken care of. Could you imagine not paying a mortgage or rent?
Yep. Well, and what people are also going to do now,
owning it outright.
Yeah, what people are going to be able to do now too, because banks are getting so heavily involved with digital assets and crypto because they have to, right? They're going to start allowing you to borrow against your Bitcoin.
Yes.
Right. So if you,
that's the next
do they
4
not
years.
allow that right now?
Some people
the high
do,
level,
but
the high level,
yeah,
the very high level.
I've seen some people already right now getting loans on their Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, you could absolutely find somebody who'll do that, but like, it's not common. Right? It's not common. Like, you don't go down to like
it's not conventional like a Bank of America where they're going to start doing that. But you guys predict within the next 10 to 15 years, it's going to be a common thing. You go into Chase, hey, I got this much Bitcoin I want to borrow against it. Sure, we'll give you a loan on that.
Right.
Yeah. 28, 29, you'll be able to start going into certain JP Morgan branches like private client. You'll be able to
instead of doing HELOCs on your house, home equity line of credit, you'll be able to do it on your
and
crypto.
keep your house out of getting taken. Also, people are buying cars with Bitcoin as well.
Yes. Oh yeah,
like Bitcoin.
You can find like not used, but like there's certain dealerships that will take Bitcoin, or it's mostly in the used kind of luxury market. There's like smaller players that like we'll take Tether, we'll take crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and then we'll sell you cars. That's going to become much more in the next 4 years. Like 28, 29 is where you're going to start seeing this a lot. But you'll be able to come into it. So like, as an example, if you let's just say if depending on the branch of like JP Morgan or some of these big banks, you could come in as long as you can show proof that you bought it and stuff. I could go into a bank with a huge bar of gold, and they would give me a loan on it at like the lowest interest rate possible. So you're going to be able to go into JP Morgan with like 1 Bitcoin on a flash drive as an example, deposit it there or send them to their wallet, and then they'll give you like a 2%, depending on the interest rates, they'll give you like a 2% loan on that for whatever terms you want.
Well, we had a guy walk into the dealership, and he pulled out his phone, showed us his portfolio for crypto, and got a car on the spot.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
I was like, wow, that's fucking dope.
I mean, I bought Rolexes.
You got a proof
with,
for
like,
a loan right on the spot.
Bro, the guy that owned the dealership was like, get him a deal.
Yep.
Instantly. So he saw how much money was in there. So
yeah, that's gonna be more and more common. And think about this too, is like if you start you're selling depreciating assets for crypto, especially if it's Bitcoin or Ethereum. If you keep that, like just like Grant Cardone, like he got his first Bitcoin from there's this guy who this crypto convention that was going to pay him speaking right. I think it was $60,000 or $100,000 for the speaking engagement for a crypto convention. He went and they asked him, hey, could we pay you in Bitcoin instead? And he's like, never say no to money. Yes, do it. So he took it. They paid him in Bitcoin. That's when Bitcoin was. Oh my God! I mean, it must have been $100, maybe $300. It was very cheap. He got a ton of that. That was a very intelligent decision.
Yeah. Well, that's what people are calling Bitcoin Chuck E. Cheese money, not real. You know, it's in the ether. They're saying the same thing now, right? About Ethereum, Solana, and it's just like, you know, all you really have to do in crypto is look at the history of both money as well as what has happened in crypto so far. And we do often in the crypto mindset course, we teach our guys like what is the actual history of crypto, because by the time we get past 2030, it's going to be such a complex industry. A lot of people are going to have a hard time remembering that stuff.
Well, there's no other way you can get this rich this fast.
Correct.
If you're going to hedge against like speed and time, I don't know what other class you could put money into to get a return.
Yeah. But we do have to remind people there's always one in the 4 years, there's one bad year, right? Like 21
and it's bad.
It's bad. So 21 ends, 22 happens. Whew. You know, most cryptos 0 or they're down 95%, and you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum are maybe down 75%. Then it recovers, and then we're back on the grind, basically to go back up and hit new all-time highs, right? So it's just people have to remember that bad year. This is what it's also it's kind of cool for us because people start saying